So, if you were not aware, Death Battle is a series where they get, like, characters, from different series and animate them to fight each other. And it's really cool. It's just they fight. They take two characters that have some kind of matchup and they fight. And it's awesome. And this one, in particular, is a scythe battle. It is Ruby Rose versus Maka Albarn, Ruby versus Soul Eater Death Battle. And I'm so excited. Hi, welcome. So true, so true. This warrants a bakshin. So this one, I believe they've been planning for like over a decade at this point. They've been planning this one for over a decade. This one was specifically requested by the creator of Ruby before he passed away. And that was a decade ago. So this one's been in the works. It is Scythe versus Scythe. They are two scythe wielders. And it's fun because their scythe is something else, In both scenarios, their scythe is something else. For Ruby, her scythe is also a gun. For Maka, her scythe is also a guy. there's a man in there. So we're gonna watch this and then we're gonna start the game. But I'm so excited. I've been waiting for this for actual years. I'm so hyped. Listen, expectedly, I am Team Ruby because it is my childhood show. I say childhood. More like a teen years show, but still. It doesn't roll off the tongue as well as childhood. Here we go. Ruby Rose versus Maka Albarn, Ruby versus Soul Eater Death Battle!
Fight!
Hell yeah!
Ruby Rose versus Maka
Hell yeah!
Albarn. The battle of spunky teens with oversized gardening tools. He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle.
We're gonna find out.
I remember when Mama Boomstick read me bedtime fairy tales. Stories of heroes and warnings about eating those little berries and quicksand. So much quicksand.
Yet in the world of Remnant, fairy tales are real. Here, huntresses do battle with monstrous Grimm, and there was nothing more exciting than that to Ruby Rose.
Daughter to the world-renowned huntress, Summer, who disappeared. Little Red really wanted nothing more than to be a huntress.
Her dedication...
Hold on, I want to read this. I don't know if they're gonna read it, but... Okay, we got full name, Ruby Rose, age 17 years. Oh my god, she's 17 now. Oh my god, she is 17 now. That's true. They don't read it? Okay, sweet, we will read it. We will read it then. Let's go. So, we got age 17 years old. I forget how much time has passed in that show now. Huntress leader of Team Ruby, so she's got them leadership skills. Trained by Crow Bronwyn, who is her uncle. Yang, who is her sister. Oobleck, who is her professor. Professor Ozpin, Professor Ironwood. That's kind of funny. They didn't give Oobleck professor. Okay, we got likes, books, cool weapons, her family, Penny is my favorite. I love her. We got eats cookies and drinks milk. Hell yeah. Season 1 reference and official VTuber. That is true. Ruby has a VTuber. Ruby has a VTuber model. She is technically a VTuber now. I don't know if she's streamed recently though. But like the original voice actor is just Ruby as a VTuber. And I love that. That's so fun. I love it. Okay, here we go.
Paid off. Admitted into Beacon Academy 2 years ahead, a premier school for huntsmen and huntresses, Ruby clearly
she got into college at 14.
Not just that, she's got the weapon geek gene just like yours truly. Ruby doesn't leave home without her trusty Crescent Rose. It may look like a high-tech scythe, and it is, but it's also a gun.
It's also
Ruby
a gun.
They
They said the thing.
It's like a dance between Grim Reaper.
Yeah, here we go. Okay, we got personally forged at Signal Academy. So this is the weapon recap. Personally forged at Signal Academy. Blade can rotate 360 degrees. Forms: scythe, sniper, war scythe. And then we got dust, which is like a elemental swapper. It's like an elemental. I don't know how to explain it. They can change the bullet element. So we got fire, gravity, ice, hard light, lightning, steam, stone, and wind. Yeah, it's like magic if it was crack. Exactly. It's crack magic. It's crack magic. At least her VTuber lore is pre-established. Exactly. She's got, 9 seasons of pre-established VTuber lore? I don't remember how... Was the VTuber thing before or after Volume 9? I don't remember. Either way, that's a lot of pre-established lore. Hell yeah. I know that Maka's weapon is a guy. I don't know if mechanically that makes it more powerful than Crescent Rose itself. Because Crescent Rose has got a whole lot of stuff happening. I have not seen Soul Eater. I mean, I've seen a little bit of it. I think I saw like half of season 1 a long time ago. So, I don't know what Soul's deal is. I don't know what he can do. But I feel like, is he also a gun? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if he can do gun stuff. I don't know if there's any kind of ranged options there. But I feel like the ranged options gives you a good advantage. I know it's meant to be a scythe versus scythe battle, but if your scythe is also a gun, I don't know. I feel like that gives some kind of advantage.
Reaper's Choice and a bolt-action sniper rifle.
A dance is
It is so nostalgic seeing like the OG visuals.
With the Grim.
Crescent Rose can switch between sniper and scythe at the press of a button. Ruby's an old-handed, flinging and moving it exactly how she wants, despite it being like bigger than she is. How does she do it with those noodle arms? The girl can't even throw a punch.
Well, she might not need to, given the strength of her aura. All living beings in Remnant have an aura, except dark creatures like Grim, though not all of them can utilize it in combat without extensive training. See, aura forms a barrier that blocks fatal blows and even heals wounds.
It can make weapons stronger too. When Ruby slaps a cartridge of dust into Crescent Rose, her aura lights up nature's wrath in man's hand.
Dramatic, but accurate. This dust represents the base elements of the world.
I'm jamming.
Fire, electricity, ice,
The music's
wind,
great.
Anti-gravity. Does that last one count?
Okay, we got more here. Aura, barrier, enhanced physique, enhanced healing, enhanced senses, bolsters dust and weaponry, aura restorative items, semblance, pedal burst, superhuman speed, teleportation, molecular intangibility, and silver eyes. So, I won't be able to do the same thing for Soul Eater, because again, have not really seen much of it, and it's been a long while. But this one, I can make commentary on. Okay, so with the, like, restorative items, the way that aura works in this universe is that, like, functionally, to quote season 1, it's like a force field. So it's like a force field around your body, which is why they don't get, like, injured in fights. Like, they can take a full swing from a sword, and it's nothing, because they have, like, an invisible shield, essentially, covering their whole body that takes the damage. But then once that, like, runs out, imagine it like a video game bar, where, like, the shield bar depletes, and then you actually start taking damage. Or, like, in D&D, where you have, like, temporary hit points. It's like a bunch of free temporary hit points. And then once the temp HP runs out, that's when you start taking damage to your physical body, and you can, like, bleed and lose limbs, you know? Not to reference anything that may or may not happen in the show. I don't want to spoil it if you haven't seen it. But, yeah, you can take physical damage. So that means she basically is starting with a bunch of free temporary HP. Doesn't make them stronger too, so they get weaker without aura. They do. Basically, another thing that, like, their aura does, specifically on the restorative items thing, their aura basically can stretch around their weapon. So when they train with a specific weapon, that's why Ruby can, like, wield hers so well, because basically it becomes part of her body, functionally. It becomes like an extended limb, kind of. So that's why, like, you know, their clothes don't get destroyed, and their weapons can't break. It's because it functions in the same way. Anything that is considered a part of, like, their, I guess, kit? You know, their weapon, their clothes, whatever. That's all functionally the same. Like, it's part of their body. Translation, it's easy to animate. It's also easy to animate, which is so great when you're at the time, little indie company that mostly does, like, comedy skits, and animation is kind of real new to you. Think of the hydrate. Like, don't get me wrong, they had done Red vs. Blue, but it's very different doing a machinima versus full from-scratch, anime-inspired 3D CG animation. Like, it's a whole ballpark that they were getting into, which is why Volume 1 looks like that. I say with love, that's why the opening 3 seasons look the way they do. That's why they look like that. I say that with love, as someone who has been watching this franchise for over a decade of my life. Yeah, that's what it means by, like, aura restorative items, I believe. Like, their weapons cannot break because it is treated as part of their body, and because their body cannot be damaged because it has this outer shell, that's why. And then you got Petal Burst. At the time, like, originally, in the first part of the show, you kind of, and including the characters, assumed that her ability is super speed. That's technically not true. It also has other features that she learned how to utilize later, so she can also just kind of teleport. Basically, she can turn into rose petals, and the extent of that isn't really known yet. She's got super speed, she can teleport, and she can also turn into, like, her mass becomes, like, separate. And then she can pick up and carry other people with her intangibly. Like, their molecules become rose petals, and she can carry other people with her in this burst. And then the Silver Eyes is, I don't know if that'll apply in this battle, because, like, it is really strong, but the Silver Eyes is mechanically only super strong in her universe. The Silver Eyes are only mechanically strong because they are a basically biblical, they're a very specific use case. They're like a biblical power, essentially, given from, like, the ancient gods of that specific universe that allow them to fight that universe's specific monsters. It's an angelic flashbang. They specifically take out the grim monsters that was mentioned before. So they are not... The only time they have been used on, like, a person in the series is because that person had, like, it's genetically infused some monster parts into her arm to basically give herself an evil prosthetic. Imagine if you had a prosthetic made of the concept of evil. That's why it could work on that person. Because she had a prosthetic made out of evil sauce. It's like if Play-Doh could be evil, that's what her arm was. So yeah, I don't think that power is gonna work in this scenario. The other stuff, yeah.
Cool, Wiz. She's got the eyes of a hawk, and when she
The other
shoots
stuff,
you with
yeah.
dust, a bullet wound's the last thing you'll be worried about. With enough of a boost, Ice Dust can freeze over whole mechs, and she can power up her kicks to crater military-grade steel.
A person's aura may be limited, but Ruby can keep track of hers with this handy health bar on her not smartphone.
Ruby blasted through Huntress classes with flying colors. Almost right away, she was appointed the leader of her own group.
Yeah.
With Weiss Schnee, Flake Belladonna, and Big Sis Yang Xiaolong.
Yeah.
Oh, I get it. Team Ruby.
Whoa, the
But
thing.
Ruby's hope for many years of learning with her friends would be dashed as evil machinations spread like
Spoilers, by the
wildfire.
way.
And with a flash of silver light...
Spoilers for a
beacon
season that's been out for a
had fallen.
decade.
Ruby's friends dead. Her school
Uh-oh.
totally wrecked. Her sister disarmed. All
Yeah.
because of a lover's spat that went way too far.
Salem saw the
Spoilers for a
world
show that's been
divided,
out for a
and it
decade.
was time to say goodbye to any happily ever after.
Things
But Ruby wouldn't give up like
things go wrong at school. The school doesn't exist anymore. The school was Arc 1. The school was Arc 1. There's no school now. That was like the prologue. The first 3 seasons are basically prologue for the rest of the show, which is like, hey, here's like, let's like get attached to all these kids. I say kids. A bunch of them were like 18 in season 1. No. They were 16. Ruby was 14. And then Ruby was 15 and the rest was 17. And now Ruby is 17 and the rest are like 19. Yeah. So basically, sorry about the spoilers. The school gets destroyed and collapsed and died and destroyed and a bunch of them die. 16, 17 max? Yeah, the like, it's basically, the school that they attended was more like a college. It's just that, you know, like, they start at the college at like 16, 17, and they're meant to graduate in their early 20s. Ruby specifically was on an accelerated course. She got in 2 years early, so she started college at 14, basically, and was meant to graduate at around 18. In their second year of schooling, the school got completely destroyed. You do know boarding schools exist, right? Yeah, but they do actually, it is like actually specifically a college. There was like combat schools that they go to beforehand, which is like a high school. So Ruby was attending high school, and the others had like graduated their high schools and were going into college, but Ruby got, she got Nepo hired. Ruby got Nepo hired 2 years early, and so she was on an accelerated course, which we later find out is not just because she was talented, it's also because she's got the weird biblical eye powers and, you know, stuff was going wrong in the universe. Nepo like Arisa. I am the one person in the company that's not a Nepo hire. I'm the only one in the company that didn't know anyone first. But okay, but that's where we're at. That's what happened to the school. So I guess one of Ruby's debuffs is incomplete high school education. I don't know if she knows advanced math, but to be fair, why would she need to?
Like that, so she set off to change the world.
Even as Crescent Rose began to feel heavier and heavier. Could she really save the world like her fairy tale heroes? All she did is what she's always done and never stopped moving forward.
Because Crescent Rose wasn't the only thing she needed. She had to improve her semblance too.
Right. While aura is essentially the manifestation of one's soul, the semblance is an expression of their personality.
Basically, it's a superpower farmed by aura, and Ruby's got
Exactly.
super speed. Or a teleport, or what is she doing exactly?
Close.
We don't know.
This is
We still
Petalverse,
kind of don't
a
know.
mixture of speed, teleportation, and intangibility. Ruby can rocket from one point to another in milliseconds.
By literally bursting into petals.
Sort of. According to Best Robo Girl Penny, Ruby's semblance
Yay.
is extremely complex and variable. It involves breaking her body down to its molecular components before zooming off in complex paths, negating the laws of mass entirely.
AKA Super Speed Plus. And Nora is best girl. Ruby's petal burst is so quick she can make flying missiles look completely still. Good luck tagging her with a bullet or a breadstick.
She's certainly quick enough to give Emerald and Mercury a hard time, and they've dodged actual lightning.
She's faster than Blake, who could keep up with the most cringe faunus of all, Adam Taurus.
Well, he did draw his sword fast enough to parry an actual particle beam. In real life, such a beam is created by accelerating charged particles to just under light speed.
So, that's impressive.
With such a powerful ability, Ruby could safely shine her smile for years, even as she carried the fate of Remnant across the world. To her friends,
Oh
she
man, I'm
was a
so
beacon
nostalgic
of
right now.
hope.
Well, yeah, because she's got one more superpower. Her silver eyes. Just like her mom, Ruby inherited them from the god of light as a weapon against negative anti-life energy, like the evil goop Grim spawned from. Just a
Evil
wink
Play-Doh.
and blam. Sayonara, Dragon of Darkness.
But Ruby's skills didn't falter after her time at Beacon. As she journeyed across Remnant, she leveled up to compete with all sorts of powerful magic and mechanized foes. Her team could even match the Ace Ops, an elite squad of longtime professional huntsmen.
Okay, we got. Okay, so this is like her kills, I guess. This is her resume. This is her post-college resume. Are all the powers like progressively revealed over the course of the anime, like the regular power creep? Yeah, it's basically, there's like a power creep that happens, like, you know, for some characters. Well, actually quite a lot of them get like a kind of power creep. Like, Jean doesn't know what his power is. Jean, like the blonde guy that you might have seen in the background, he fully forged his, he forged his transcripts and snuck into the school. He doesn't know how to do combat. He's like learning how to use a sword over the first 3 seasons. He doesn't get his super special, unique superpower until like volume 6. He doesn't get his like magical superpower until volume 6. What's that last one? We'll get there. They intentionally trained him poorly? No, he wasn't trained at all. He snuck into the school. He forged his transcripts. They didn't train him at all. He didn't know how to train. He didn't go to combat school. He skipped fighting. He skipped prerequisite combat training and, like, imagine, I guess for reference, it's the combat equivalent of not taking any kind of, like, medical courses before going straight into a doctor's residency. So you're, like, you have to, like, learn how to prescribe, like, an anxiety medication while everyone else is learning how to do, like, brain surgery. But you also, at the same time, have to learn how to do brain surgery. It's just that you don't know how to prescribe medication yet. That's what his deal is. And that's why, it's like kind of a college situation. He doesn't have a driver's license, he's just trying to do Amazon deliveries. Exactly. Exactly. But yeah, there's kind of a power creep situation. Ruby's in particular, have to, Ruby in particular has to do, she basically started out with super speed, but then that super speed got so fast that you're like, oh, that's just teleportation, actually. And then it's less that the lack of mass was a power creep, and more like she comprehends what it is now. It's more like, that's a problem for later. I'm not gonna read into all that right now. I'm 14 and the world is ending. But yeah, so we got decapitated a giant Nevermore. That's like the big, massive bird monster. She chopped the head off at the top of that cliff. So that was her one big, college kill. And then the second one, was, I think, she kicked off a griffin through an Atlas warship. Imagine there is a warship, it is like a mech plane, and she kicked a bird through it, which was crazy. That was in season 3, I think. Leapt off multiple missiles midair, which is, I think, season 6. Overcame the apathy's mental effect. The apathy was a monster that specifically drains your mental fortitude until you develop fatigue so bad that you just fall over and die in your sleep. But it starts with the psychological effects. So basically, she's got super whimsy. She's got whimsy so hard that the monster that gives you depression can't take it away. And then we've got a petrified kaiju-sized Grim with silver eyes. She turned a Leviathan into just rocks. She turned a Leviathan into rocks. Super antidepressants. Yeah, she's got super antidepressants. And then we've got defeated Torchwick, Cinder, Harriet, Team Juniper, Curious Cat. That's just people. That's just normal villains. Though I would argue she kind of didn't really defeat Cinder yet. She kind of didn't really defeat Cinder yet. That's Cinder keeps coming back, she's the recurring villain. And then, yeah, that last one says exactly what you think it does. Met Superman and Ragnar the Blood Edge. Ruby, the franchise, has a partnership with DC Comics. DC. Of DC fame. So there is a non-canon collection of crossover material in which Team Ruby teams up with the Justice League. Because of Warner Brothers, right? Yeah, I believe so. They call her the Ruby Lawkeeper. You don't want to know how many times I've watched this show over the years. You don't want to know. You don't want to know. And they're on Blaze Blue Cross Tag. Yeah, they've done a bunch of collabs over the years with different stuff. So they've met the Justice League. There's I believe, a comic series where the Justice League meets, the Justice League goes into the Ruby universe, and then there is 2 Ruby-style animated movies where, Ruby, the Team Ruby goes into the Justice League universe, and they get, superhero outfits. And I haven't seen those ones. I will admit, if you have any further questions about the Justice League crossover, that I don't know anything about. There's a lot of spin-off content that released all at once, and I could only keep up with so much of it. And also, I think I saw a question before that was... I think I saw a sentence before that I, read, but I didn't read out loud for some reason, that said, I'm sold, is Ruby's story over? Not yet. The parent company Rooster Teeth that, owned Rooster Teeth Animation, which owned the Kruby, who make Ruby, folded. So Ruby became... homeless for a while as a television show, but they got picked up by Viz Media a couple years back now, and they have confirmed the 10th season is on the way. It's just that, they didn't have the ability to do the usual, work on the new season while the other season is airing thing because the company went down. So it's been 2 or 3 years since Volume 9, but Volume 10 is in progress. They're working on it. It's happening. So it's not over. It's just, you know, there's like a new parent company now. But the same, like, functional team, like the animators, the music, all of that is, like, coming back. It's just that they didn't have, like, the funding because their company folded. So it's back. It's back now. It's gonna be. Do you think they'll wrap it up in Volume 10 or will there be more? There's, I think, probably gonna be... I think they'll probably do one more arc, you know? I feel like they'll do, like, maybe up to 12 and then wrap it up there, probably. Because usually they dedicate about 3 seasons to a location. So, like, the first 3 seasons were the school arc, and then the next 3 seasons were, like, they were doing traveling stuff and everyone was separated, but then they group back up and they go to, like, they're in, like, the steampunky kind of kingdom. And then the next 3 seasons are, like, the Atlas stuff, so in, like, the Snow Kingdom, which is, like, this stuff. And then 9 was, like, a weird in-between bit. And it's, like, they just did Alice in Wonderland for a season. And then I'm guessing that, like, the final 3 seasons... I don't even know if it's gonna be the final 3. I don't even know if there will be 3. But I think that they'll probably do 3 more, and it's probably gonna be in, like, the Desert Kingdom, because that's where they kind of ended off. I feel like that's where it's gonna be at. Yeah, that's like her kills, I suppose. I feel like there should be, you know, some kind of more... I don't know, I feel like they should have mentioned that she kind of fought like a goddess. She fought Salem at some point. Kind of. I feel like that should be, you know, survived fight with God could be worth including, but I don't know.
Harriet,
that's just
whose
me.
super speed semblance was totally outclassed by Petal Burst. And Vine, whose aura was strong enough to contain a bomb that was about to decimate the whole city of Mantle.
Oh yeah, that guy exploded.
These are some pretty powerful auras.
Though it's important to remember, Ruby is only
Didn't she get folded at the end of that
17
fight?
years old.
Kind of.
The weight
But she
of being
lived.
A leader, a savior,
And I feel like
a
that's
huntress
worth
like her
points.
mother would get heavier and heavier and heavier.
She got over it. Look at her go!
Taking Crescent
Yay.
Rose firmly in hand and sending a message of unity to the rest of the world. Ruby had finally left the fairy tale behind, taking one more step toward the day we've waited for.
Yeah.
Today's battle is sponsored by Prize Picks.
We all
Prize
make
Picks.
decisions every day, but on
I'm so
Prize
thirsty.
Picks, making the right choice can get you paid.
And hey, football season is just kicking off right
Yeah, I will
now,
not have
so
this
it's the
much
perfect time to
information.
jump in and join the hype.
It's easy to play.
I will not
Just
have-
pick more
Take
or
the hydrate.
less on 2 to 6 player projections. If you get your picks right, you could cash in.
Yes.
Simple as that.
Let's
Sports.
see. I got more on Barkley for those rushing
Sports,
TDs.
yes.
More on Jones
I'm
on those
familiar
passes,
with
but
sport
Allen,
ball.
234 yards?
I'm
gonna
familiar
go
with
less.
sport
Sorry,
ball.
Bills.
Prize Picks puts users first, so withdrawals
Yes.
are fast, safe,
Sports
and
ball.
secure. And if one of your players leaves the
Sports
game
ball.
for good, they
I'm
offer
very
injury
familiar.
reboots to save you from some real bad luck.
That's a lifesaver.
Download the app today and use code DEATH to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup.
That's code DEATH. to
Sports
get
ball's so
50
good.
bucks in
Yes,
lineups
sports
after your
gambling.
first
I'm very
$5
familiar
lineup.
with this
Prize
concept,
Picks.
yes.
It's good to be right.
Yes, Prize Picks.
A sound soul dwells
Yeah, I'm
within
not
a
gonna have that
sound
much
mind
information on
and a
this.
sound body.
But
Looks
all
like they're
the
going into the
unjust
Soul Eater
evil
stuff now.
souls of this world
This is
are
getting-
on the Disney Fast Pass to becoming a Kishin.
The Ruby section was me giving extra information. This section is gonna be me learning the information.
Destructive gods mutated from good-natured souls. A Kishin could plunge the world into chaos and
Mind you, I know
madness.
some of this.
If
I did
only
watch the
someone
first, like, half
could
season.
Stop them.
Bing bong! It's
It's
the
just been a while.
DWMA. Welcome
Yeah.
to Death Weapon Meister Academy, where death
Yeah.
rules. Literally, his name is Death.
Here, Lord Death tasks humans to become spiritually talented meisters of demon weapons.
AKA people who are also a weapon. No, really, they transform into weapons. Guns, ninja stars, hammers, you name it. A Meister weapon pair kills and consumes lost souls to keep the Kishin away. Jack
Yeah.
the Ripper? More like Jack the Fraud.
And so, the
Okay, I
demon
know all
weapon
this.
soul was paired with the dutiful rising star, Maka Albarn.
Yeah,
Talk
this
about
I
your
know.
classic teacher's pet.
Okay, Maka Albarn, 13 years old, 2-star Scythemeister at Death Weaponmeister Academy. Possesses a Grigori soul, 1 in 50 million. Weapon partners, soul, Tsubaki, spirit... Oh god, I'm in... let me just wiggle out of the way real quick. Hold on. Let me just wiggle out of the way so I can read. Spirit. Likes books, studying, puzzles, drum dances. Dislikes unfaithful men and raw fish. Look, I knew these two were similar, and that's why they were paired up in the first place, but I didn't know, like, how similar these two... They're, like, the same age. They've got a scythe that's also another thing. They're, like, child prodigies. They've got, like, a weird, like, kind of, you know, anime protagonist, like, magical specialty that no one else has. They like reading and stuff. Like, yeah, they were paired up for a reason. Ruby's basically Western Soul Eater. Yeah, kinda. She loves to info dump. It's part of her DNA. I love info dumping. But now I am info absorbing. Now I'm info absorbing.
The kind of girl who leaves an apple on the desk and goes, "Teacher, you forgot to give us homework," and then we jump them.
As if Soul's any better. A weapon who's too concerned with being cool to do any real work.
Hey, Soul's not just any demon weapon. He's a scythe, and he's got his sights on upgrading to the highest level of Death Scythe.
Which would be a high honor. And lucky for Soul, Maka always aims high.
With that common goal, Maka and Soul formed the dream team. All they needed was 99 Kishin eggs and the soul of a witch. Easy, right?
Maybe, since Maka is extraordinarily
Training
perceptive at spotting and examining souls. She can detect spiritual presences from millions of yards away, and can discern its nature, stability, and emotions.
Time for class then.
Okay, we got Soul Eater, Death's last weapon. So this is, you know, the weapon summary, but it just so happens the weapon is also a character. Age 13 to 15 years. Vocations: Death Scythe, Pianist. Shapeshifting: human and scythe states. Flight via manifested wings. Okay, so maybe there is some kind of range there if you can fly. But he doesn't have as many states, so, you know. And then we got Piano / Black Room, Soul Meditation, Soul Hack, Soul Adagio, Black Blood Dress, Madness. I could explain Black Blood. Yeah, I probably need a summary on those ones. I probably need a summary of those ones.
Trained hard, but their style's kinda weird. Okay, so Maka guides Soul in the direction she wants to go, but Soul, the scythe, does all the actual movements himself. Maka's the Meister, Soul's the weapon.
Like conductor and instrumentalist, a Meister-weapon pair cannot work in harmony without...
Think the Venom symbiote. It's basically armor inside your blood, but it gives you evil tendencies. You have ghosts in your blood, basically. Okay, now, the more I learn about, like, the intricacies of Soul Eater combat, the more I'm like, yeah, of course that's why they paired each other up. Like, that's why... So, she's got... I guess that's her equivalent. Or, like, you know, I don't know. Wait, so does Maka have it as well, or is it just Soul? I don't know. Because in that case, I guess then Soul basically has what is equivalent to Ruby's aura. But, okay, so he didn't come with it, he got infected with it. Okay, gotcha. Okay, so in that case, Maka herself doesn't have an equivalent to Ruby's aura, but Soul does. So that's definitely, like, that makes so much sense for the matchup. But since they're linked, she gets it too. Okay, sweet. So they basically do have... Okay.
Total cooperation.
Too bad their teamwork sucked. They fumbled the easiest chance for Death Scythe status. F-.
Maka just could not get in tune with Soul's wavelength. She was skilled, sure, more skilled than most.
Keyword, most. There were plenty of rivals showing her up, like Blackstar and Tsubaki.
Really puts a damper on the straight A's when this show-off is doing better than you.
It was up to Maka and Soul to improve their teamwork through Soul Resonance.
What I said about wavelength wasn't metaphorical. Rather, wavelengths are the means with which Meister and weapon draw strength through each other. Think of two wavelengths as different emotional amplitudes that must merge at one alignment.
If the Meister's the guitar and the weapon's the amp, then they create a feedback loop to increase its frequency. That's Soul Resonance.
Soul Resonance.
Yeah, so that really is like
link and surges
this
their
is
strength
their
and speed.
Soul,
And
you know,
cool
to
moves like the
bring back the comparison to
big
obviously the
energy
Ruby
strike
stuff.
that puts the L in evil.
As the name
That's
implies,
their-
it works especially...
Yeah, so that's Soul Perception, Soul Resonance, Wavelength Control. So this is their, you know, this is, for Ruby's case, you know, this is their matchup there. Aside from just the Scythe weapons, they also have the Aura and the Semblance, which in their case, I guess, is the Soul Resonance and the Wavelength Control. So not only is it just like Scythe versus Scythe, it's Scythe versus Superpower Body Shield and manipulating the vibes of the universe versus superpowered Soul Shield manipulating the vibes of the universe. So they got a lot of appropriate matchup stuff here. It's 2 versus 1, but the one has a gun. Exactly. So we got soul perception, soul resonance, wavelength control, anti-demon wavelength. So, and I guess anti-demon wavelength is gonna be their equivalent of this is probably not gonna match up. I mean, probably not gonna affect the matchup too much because, you know, Ruby is not a demon, these two are not Grim. They have this super ability that would be really helpful in their scenario, but that scenario is not happening, they're fighting people. So that's fun. And then hunt slashes, witch and demon. Number 6 hunt, letter U hunt, letter I slash. I don't actually know what that means in this scenario. Scythe menace severing, that's a fun phrase. Kishin hunt slash and Maka chop. I know what Maka chop is.
Well against witches.
I know that one.
Evil creatures, it's not exclusive or anything.
It's actually really deadly against evil because of Maka's
Oh yeah, I guess if they treat the black blood like a Grim.
Basically, being a goody little two-shoes gets her the power of purity or whatever.
Maka and Soul were becoming a synchronized unit, though one would sometimes need to rein in the other's idiotic habits.
And the other guys gotta stop their annoying overthinking, Wiz.
But everything changed after a, unique encounter with Krona, which nearly killed Soul.
Now
Right, bro.
Soul had an ogre pal in his head, waiting for him to swing on over and play the piano. Yep, Soul got infected with black blood.
Black
There
blood
it
was
is.
specially brewed as a weaponizable blood. It hardens and strengthens its user's body, inside and out, increasing their physical ability. They can
So
even
that'll be
block
their
blades with
aura
bare
matchup
skin.
then.
Too bad it comes
'Cause
with a
Ruby
little
can do the
side
same
effect
thing
of
with her
madness
universe's
with a
equivalent.
capital M.
A force of fear and sadness all living things possess, which threatens to ruin the world.
So it was kind of a big deal that Maka was bummed by how she got Soul in a jam. But thanks to Soul, she got over it and even
Ghost in your
welcomed
blood.
their new little ogre buddy.
Now when Soul plays his grand piano, their soul resonance sings even louder through the black blood.
Giving Maka all the perks of black blood too, even the crazy parts. Bet you didn't expect that, Krona.
But evil saw their plans through. The Kishin Asura had arrived.
He plays piano
Madness was
mid-fight, hell
spreading
yeah.
Everywhere.
Oh, this
Maka
soundtrack
and
is gonna
Soul
go
had
crazy.
To lock in and upgrade their witch hunt to the even stronger demon hunt slash. They
This
went on even
battle
more
soundtrack
missions
is gonna
to
go
reap
crazy.
souls with classmates like Blackstar, and that guy outran his own shadow.
Perhaps the most obvious evidence ever of faster than light speeds, and Maka could finally keep up with him.
Pair that with her fight with the demon tool Gopher, who could obliterate whole mountains, and you've got one hell of an ass kicker.
And yet, Maka's relationship with Soul still faltered. Soul was the real star here. Even other Meisters were trying to take him as a weapon, away from Maka.
Damn.
I mean, he literally moves himself, so Maka couldn't help but wonder if she was holding him back all along.
But Soul said the truth. In all of their missions, their teamwork was the key to their victory. An orchestral performance is only as good as the one conducting. And so, their wavelengths played in harmony, and Maka donned a dress of black blood.
It's an armor literally made of blood, and it lets Maka fly
Hell yeah.
around and shoot out her soul as an epic sound wave. So freaking metal!
At the same time, Soul discovered
Which
he
is
could
her
hack souls
pair
and
up to Ruby's
directly
semblance, I'm
transmit
seeing.
Maka's
There's like so
anti-demon
much
wavelengths,
comparison
basically shutting
here.
their
I
enemy
really
completely
see why
down
they
through
did this
Soul
matchup.
Adagio.
And they finally achieved Death Scythe.
Okay, carve through Gopher's blast, outpace Medusa's vector arrows, consume the souls of 198 humans and a witch. Nullified Giriko's soul wavelength, tanked... tanked Asura's Vajra, which pierced death... I have to get out of the way again, hold on. Let me get out of the way. Which pierced death, kept up with Blackstar and Death the Kid, survived attacks that split clouds and cratered the moon. And, oh my god, yeah, and they've got the funky moons in both scenarios. Hell yeah. So, defeated Blair, Arachne, Medusa, Krona, Giriko, Kishin, Asura. What I love about Maka is that she's basically a normal girl for the most of the show, and she keeps up with these special people by being talented with effort. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. If you watched anime, I recommend reading the manga too for anyone that hasn't. Yeah.
The dream's here, baby.
So when Krona's
Vector
own
arrows
black
control
blood
momentum
reached
without
its
override.
final
Oh.
stage, Maka and Soul flew to the moon. A moon small and unassuming, but so dense it has the same mass as the planet itself.
Oh.
The very world's sanity was at stake.
Krona might have gone insane, but Maka still reached out to their new friend's soul.
Hiccups cured.
Until the
What?
Kishin showed up to ruin everything. Come on, Asura, they're having a moment here. timing, bro.
In what would be Maka's final exam, Maka, Soul, and all of their friends faced off against the Kishi.
And she passed. A+. Maka pulled her weight and perfected her teamwork with Soul. Their wavelengths were pitch perfect.
Asura did everything he could to separate them, crater them into the moon, punch holes in Maka's chest, tamper their souls with madness, and each time they successfully realigned their wavelengths.
Until they kicked his ass with one final upgrade. The
Hell
Kishi
yeah.
Hunt Slash. Maka Chop! Now that's what I call absolute cinema.
Because a sound soul dwells within a sound mind and body. So should you feel overwhelmed by evil's roars, just write 42 42 564 whenever you want to knock on death's door.
Hey. God, this matchup is so
Congratulations.
perfect. I see why Monty
Wiz,
wanted it.
Your ego is showing.
It always is. And why not? This death battle is episode 200.
Hell yeah.
It's a big deal, so we've got a big discount
It's a
on
special
our website to
one.
celebrate.
That's www.deathbattle.gg.
Website members already get awesome deals like exclusive Death Battle merch, the whole episode archive, including episodes not on YouTube, and a
Ooh.
bunch of behind-the-scenes goodies. And if you sign up today, you can use our code DB200 to get 20% off.
You can only grab this discount in the next
I'm
2
jamming.
weeks, so use code DB200 to get 20% off your website membership as soon as you can.
Where else are you gonna find such absolute cinema? No, really, we made an absolute cinema desk mat that's on the store. Cool as fuck.
Hell yeah. Okay, I guess it's probably...
All right, the combatants are set,
Yeah.
and we've run the data through all possibilities.
It's time for the
It's
fight.
time for a scythe battle!
Okay, I guess what, like...
Okay, it's official. This is so not cool.
Oh, come on, Soul. Our target should
It's
be
time.
here, so try helping out. Hi! Who are you looking for?
Ah! Is that just the actual model?
Little Red Riding Hood. Your humanity has strayed from its just path, and the Shinigami has called for you. Your boyfriend turns into a scythe. Oh, that's so cool!
Okay, it's not her model, it's just like an identical. Is that Casey?
I like my soul, thanks.
It is Casey! Oh, hell yeah.
Moves are sick, but too slow for my Meister.
You haven't seen anything yet.
Oh, this is so hype.
She's quick, but we can handle it.
Let's go, Soul Resonance!
This is so hype. Hell yeah. Get yoinked.
Stop her hitting me.
Oh, that's so fun. Do a little callback to her complete incapability to just do hand to hand. I love that. Oh, that's a gravity one. She got gravity. Oh,
Interesting. Her soul forms a barrier. Try helping out.
Relax.
oh, this, I knew the soundtrack was gonna go crazy. I knew the soundtrack was gonna go crazy. The 2D animation is such a fun touch. That's such a good touch.
Sorry, but I'll never stop fighting. I'm Ruby Rose, and I'm
There she goes.
Chris.
Soul Adagio.
Ruby!
Uh-oh.
The wavelengths. Damn it, she's. Stay strong, Maka. You got this.
Oh my god, Jeff's there! I know Ruby just died, but like,
A simple, honest
I got
soul.
really excited hearing Jeff's voice too.
Ruby Rose, huh?
Hell yeah.
KO!
Hell
Rest
yeah.
in peace, Ruby. But hey, it's not often you get to see scythe on scythe action like that.
Oh, that was
Let's
so
break
sick.
this down with the 4 categories that
That was
best
so
represent
sick.
this matchup.
Damn, okay. See, I'm not even mad that she lost because, like, you know, this whole thing was, in a way, like, you know, the episode itself was a suggestion from and tribute to, like, Monty's specific request to have a death battle matchup between his own character and Maka. And, like, he wouldn't have cared. You know? Monty's the kind of guy that would watch his own character getting sliced up, and he's like, hell yeah, that was awesome, you know? He would have loved it. He would have loved it. He would have loved it. Like, you know, that's awesome. That fight was so cool. Like I said, like, Ruby's, you know, Ruby's Silver Eye's ability, obviously, you know, it clearly worked a little bit, but it was more like a low-level flashbang. Because that ability clearly isn't meant to be used on... It's so specific in its win condition, so I was kind of seeing it. And also, you know, Jeff and Casey on the soundtrack, I'm not even mad. Was Jeff? I don't even remember. I know that the reins for the lead in, like, the music were passed over to Casey for Volume 9. I don't know if Jeff was in it still. If I'm remembering correctly, I don't remember Jeff's voice being on the Volume 9 soundtrack. I might just be wrong. I might be wrong. It's been a while since I've watched Volume 9. But if Jeff wasn't in the Volume 9 soundtrack, what a way to bring him back, dude. What a way to bring him back, man. Hell yeah.
First, strength.
Or a supercharged Ruby's strength way higher than you'd think, like kicking this Grim through steel.
It purify the black blood,
But
just at them?
Maka's soul
Yeah, exactly.
resonance could match
Exactly.
Gopher, who destroyed
It, like-
mountains.
Now, Team Ruby
The power, like, removes the Grim. Even in Ruby's universe, it doesn't destroy, like, it doesn't kill those monsters. It just, like, petrifies them. So it makes sense that it would, like, it would have, like, an effect to nullify Maka and Soul's power, but not defeat them in battle. Like, once it, like, and yeah, it's, Ruby's journey isn't completed yet. Her show's not over. Maka and Soul, like, their story arc's done. Their manga ended a long time ago. Ruby still hasn't gotten Season 10. Like, Season 10 is still in progress. All the little details in the fights are my favorite parts. Yeah, this is so good. This is so good. But yeah, like, Ruby hasn't achieved full power, you know? She's still in the middle of her shonen protagonist journey, as it were. She's still in progress, you know? She hasn't achieved full power yet, you know? Her super powerful once in a, like, one person in a lifetime magical ability only works specifically to a certain specific type of monster. So, like, it wasn't gonna, you know, it was cool that it, like, nullified their power. It was never gonna defeat them, you know? Soundtrack slapped. It really did, dude. That was so good. The hype, hearing Casey's voice come in at the beginning, I was like, oh my god, let's go. Like, in, the original seasons, Casey, the lead singer of, like, all of the Ruby soundtrack, basically, I believe she was maybe 13? She was anywhere between 12 and 15 years old, recording the soundtrack for the original season of Ruby, which is crazy. So she went from, like, you know, she went from being, like, in the background, like, you know, she didn't really have a lot to do with the music production itself in the original seasons, I believe, if I'm remembering correctly. But she was, like, the lead vocalist. And now, like, her dad Jeff has, like, stepped down from being the lead music doing the lead music production for the show, and passed those reins on to Casey. So it was really sick seeing Casey, like, be a part of this as well, because she's been there, like, the whole show. You know, she sang the original trailer soundtracks. So, like, her being included in this as well just feels so right, you know? It just feels so right. The whole time. So true. Going between this and Maple Pokemon, man, I love hyperfixations on random stuff. Exactly.
Ruby did defeat Vine.
Yeah, there's
whose
so many
aura
fun
contained a
details in
bomb
this.
that
I
could've
love
wiped
it.
out a city.
I love it.
Adding up
Oh,
their
wait.
flight speed
Oh, no.
and how far
Okay,
Harriet
no, it's fine,
said
it's
they
fine. I
had
thought
to
I
fly
skipped
to
back by
avoid the
accident.
blast. That's a 366
I skipped back by
kiloton
accident.
bomb.
It's possible Ruby's own aura possesses a similar level of, say, energy strength, though her semblance obviously can't replicate what Vine did.
Black Blood Maka got blasted by Asura into the moon. Yeah, it's small, but its mass is the same as Earth's, right?
Putting Asura's strikes at 2 quadrillion tons of TNT, over 5 billion times higher than Vine.
So, Maka takes strength, but
Yep.
speed wasn't as clear-cut. Ruby's a fast little gal. Maka kept up with Blackstar, faster than Shadows and whatnot, but as they improved their skills, Ruby and her friends could outspeed Atom.
Who blocked a particle beam. Though given the distance and time to react, Atom moved about 42% the speed of light. Not quite faster than your own Shadow territory. Still, Ruby's Petal Burst has become far faster than this over time, and clearly gives more than a 2-time speed increase on top of that 42%, making her well past light speed.
Definitely enough to take on Harriet, who was all about speed. Angry speed.
This isn't to say Maka couldn't keep up thanks to Soul Resonance, but Petal Burst makes this comparison close enough to call it a tie. And their speed would be key to winning in skill.
Come on, Wiz. Call it what it really is. It's Scythery.
That's not a word.
Maka's Scythery
Yeah,
was
it
pretty
is.
good, but Soul does all the movement for her. As a Meister, she was mostly a guide.
It's easy to assume that Ruby's Scythery was superior. She's entirely self-sufficient at dancing with her weapon.
Soul's own control is still a factor here, but it doesn't change that Ruby's been swinging that thing for way longer than Maka. Ruby's got Scythery in the bag.
Perhaps this edge would
Hell
be enough
yeah.
for Ruby to avoid Maka's far greater strength if she had the better powers.
So, Aura's really cool. Barriers, healing, superpowers, and so on. But it's got one big weakness.
It is a finite resource.
Once
that
it's
is
gone, it's
required
gone.
for
Yeah.
all of Ruby's powers.
Petal Burst, activating Dust, even powering up Crescent Rose takes juice and some aura. Once
Yep.
it's gone, Ruby's totally vulnerable.
And there's a second key factor regarding aura. It is specifically a manifestation of Ruby's soul.
And Maka's powers are all about taking on souls. Maka had lots of ways to break through Ruby's aura, like
Yeah.
Soul Adagio.
And since Maka is exceptionally gifted at examining souls, she could definitely figure out how aura works.
But plot twist, what about Ruby's silver eyes? Her anti-grim eye beams? Turns out
See, like I said, I would have wanted Ruby to win just for nostalgia reasons because, like, out of the two of them, that's my character, you know? That's the one that I've consumed the most content of. I wanted her to win. I didn't think she was gonna. I wanted her to win in an underdog way. Like, she is still, like... her powers are not done scaling, you know?
they were actually her best secret weapon.
The negative power of Grim is quite similar to Madness wavelengths, which power Black Blood. Since anti-demon wavelengths can cancel out Black Blood, the
Exactly.
silver eyes
Favorites
should
winning over
achieve
logic,
a
always.
similar effect.
But Maka and Soul's whole story is about reaching that perfect soul resonance. Asura tried every way in the book and more to separate their wavelengths and failed. And we already talked about how much stronger he is than Ruby. Maka takes powers, because when she rose to the occasion, Ruby didn't stand a semblance of a chance and bit the dust.
The winners are Maka Albarn and Soul Evans.
Wait, his
Yeah, that's to
name
be
is
expected.
Soul Evans? Next time on Death.
Hell yeah. Yeah, that's to be expected, honestly. Like, obviously, I wanted Ruby to win, you know? I was rooting for her, because, like, she's my girl, you know? But, when your entire power comes from your soul stretching out from your, like, metaphysical insides and becoming a shield around you and is the source of all your power, and that's your soul, fighting the Soul Eater characters is probably not the best. Probably doesn't give you the best chances. Probably doesn't give you the best of chances. But it was still awesome. Like singing a dog with a super bullet would have been so funny. She was absolutely the underdog in this scenario, and I'm okay with that. You know? The fight absolutely, like, it could have gone either way if it was more along the lines of, like, you know, this battle was very much based on, like, where they are at in their respective stories. So, like, when you're at like, the middle of yours, you know, when you're kind of at the 11th hour of your own plotline, and you're fighting people whose manga ended a long time ago, you're not gonna be... you're not gonna have the best of chances. If Maka and Soul were, like, further back in their plotline, you know, if it was more of a, if they were essentially power scaled back to be more on Ruby's level, I think it definitely could have been more 50-50, but there is it's much more of an uphill battle when it's based around where they're at now. Where, like, the other two, you know, their story arc's done. And Ruby is just... Ruby's still going. Ruby hasn't completed her character arc yet, you know? She's still got some power learnage to do, you know? She's great with her scythe, but, you know, when it comes down to the people who steal, like, the people who take your soul out of you battle, you know, fighting with your soul in a they take your soul out of you battle is not gonna go too well. That was so sick. I loved that. What's the... They said preview for the next one, right?
Subscribe and join us
Blade
to
versus
see
Buffy.
more Death Battle. Thanks for...
Oh, that's fun. That's fun. Yeah, that was awesome. That was so cool. That was so sick. I loved that. I loved that. I've been waiting for this one for, like, a long while. I've been waiting for this one. I've been waiting for this one. That was so good. That was so good. Hell yeah. I want to look at the credits. Is there credits down here? There is. Yeah, Ruby Rose Lindsay Jones. OG voice right there. Wait, I accidentally clicked it. Yeah, OG voice came back. I say came back, but no one else has ever voiced Ruby. Aside from the dubs, obviously, but, you know, it's just exciting either way, you know? It's just exciting either way. Seeing the voice of Ruby, like, participate is really cool. That's really cool. So I can't believe Soul's last name is Evans. That is a funny last name. That is a funny last name for just any of that. Just any of his deal. What other credits do we have here? I like looking through the credits after I watch something like this, you know? Death battle theme. Where's the battle score? Death in Bloom. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Can we listen to just the song? Extra special thanks to Monty Ohm, who helped find our dreams and requested this matchup. Aw, man. That's so sweet. That's so sweet. I love that. I love that. Okay, we got it, right? We got it, right?
Remember that shining beacon on the hill, how it felt.
Hell yeah.
Remember everything descending.
Oh, Jeff wasn't there. Oh, hell yeah. I guess Jeff wasn't in it. That's my bad. It just sounded like Jeff. It sounded like Jeff in the end, but I guess it wasn't. That's my bad. That's my bad.
Remember when hope died, standing petrified, pretending everything we knew didn't just vaporize before our eyes. Keep moving forward.
Oh, they said the thing.
We made their violent intentions. Existence will be erased. Your gentle light still shining down on me.
This is so good. Yeah! Hell yeah! Charging the cheerleader on the drop, let's go! That was perfect timing. Hell yeah. Yeah, my apologies to Brandon Yates, who I'm assuming does the voice that I thought was Jeff. My god. Like, you could jump... like, I fully believe that was Jeff. You could throw... At least I'm assuming it's Brandon Yates who is doing the voice that I assumed was Jeff. But, like, truly... Throw this guy onto the Ruby soundtrack, I wouldn't know the difference, honestly. Oh, don't play more, don't play more, don't play more. That one will get me. I'm already gonna get sniped for the copyright on these ones. Hell yeah. That song is so good. That was so good. Don't memorize artists, mostly just the band names. That's fair, that's fair. That's fair. God, that was so good. That was so good. Yeah, that was the song in the background of the actual fight itself. That was awesome. That was so good. Absolute banger. Hell yeah, it was. God, that was so good. That was so good. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Featuring Casey Lee Williams and Mireya Schultz, I believe? I don't know how to pronounce that, I apologize, but that was so good. That was awesome. That was awesome. I loved that. That was so good. That was 100% worth the incoming bonk for playing it. Exactly. Rip VOD, worth it. Worth it. Worth it. No regrets. Hell yeah, that was awesome.